Dear students, thank you for your time and efforts in completing this video course. We truly hope that it has proven interesting and useful for increasing your cultural self-awareness and your knowledge about the impact of cultural differences in intercultural communication. We all enjoyed preparing the learning materials for this introductory course in intercultural awareness and cultural diversity, which turned to be challenging and really motivating at the same time. Our major task was to attract and focus your attention to the importance of developing your intercultural competence and sensitivity to cultural diversity, and to establish a point of departure for your lifelong learning journey in the fast globalizing social environment, in which we all have to adapt and adjust our values, perceptions, attitudes, and behavior. The course was intended to outline the main concepts related to culture as a complex phenomenon, with some basic knowledge of the importance of the individual versus group values, the relation to authority and power, differences in gender roles, time, avoidance of unpredictable situations, and differences in perceptions of personal life control. Several cultural dimensions and classification typologies were presented to help you better understand and compare differences in people's cultural identities shaped by their ethnic origin and shared traditional values. Another important aspect was suggested, drawing your attention to language as a product and symbol of culture which can create hidden barriers in intercultural communication. Misunderstanding of gender roles as a stumbling block in interaction with people from other cultures and countries was also discussed. You learned about the historical development of the European Union and its role in fostering a European identity in the culturally diverse territory of the European continent, which is sometimes seen as an opportunity and a threat at the same time. You might have found useful to gain some basic theoretical knowledge of communication models, communication barriers, and active listening with a focus on the impact of cultural dimensions on the preferred type of communication. Non-verbal communication issues affecting the communication process and the individual perception over the world were also discussed. Some useful do's and don'ts of culturally different business etiquette were presented, such as self-presentation, dress code, and power relations. Some effective strategies for working in multicultural business environment were suggested with a view on the concept of cultural intelligence and the need to develop skills for effective communication outcomes. The most important point to make here is that understanding other cultures requires an understanding of our own culture first, its values, its norms, and attitudes which drive our individual behavior in a specific way. As a final wrap-up activity, I suggest that you complete the Cultural Intelligence Questionnaire, which has already been done at the beginning of this course, measuring once again your individual motivation and capabilities to learn, plan, and act in intercultural communication environment will allow you to compare the scores on each subdimension of the scale and to check your individual progress as a result of this intercultural awareness and cultural diversity training course. You can further reflect on your results and analyze the score variations between the subdimensions. Which of your 11 capabilities measured the greatest progress? Which were less developed? How can these be further enhanced? What conclusions did you make in particular about your own culture? What cultural differences may create serious barriers in your interaction with people from other Eastern and Western countries? Finally, before your next trip abroad, search for information and read about the place you're planning to visit. Learn about people's behavior and practices, greetings, politeness, language, social gatherings, and business etiquette. Find someone who has already lived or visited that country and ask them about the specific cultural differences which can cause misunderstanding. Think about your own verbal and non-verbal expressions, which may be interpreted wrongly in the unfamiliar environment. When you get to your destination, watch and observe other people's actions, ask polite questions, and do not be afraid to ask. As they say, do as the Romans do. I hope you are ready to go now. Have an exciting trip and enjoy learning. See you soon.